Do you guys ever feel overwhelmed? Like so many things are happening to you at this current moment and you just don't know how to deal with it? Well, that's why you guys got me. So I'm here to explain some ways you can deal with feeling overwhelmed. I get it. I mean, personally, I sometimes feel overwhelmed when it comes to either things that are happening in my job, things that are happening in my personal life, maybe things if I had a relationship, maybe things with my significant other. I don't have a relationship, I'm single, but just I'm trying to put myself in your guys' shoes. Maybe a family member has passed away. Maybe you got some news from the doctor that you didn't want. Maybe you feel like everything's being piled on you. You're the breadwinner, or you're the person that everyone goes to, and you being so kind, you just take it all in, and you just feel like you're just being weighed down by all of this stress, all of these things that are just piling on you. You just feel overwhelmed. Now that I painted the picture, one thing that you guys can do if you're feeling overwhelmed is make a priority list. Basically, if you can, whatever it is that's happening to you, if you can somehow, if this applies to this situation for you, make a priority list, making like, hey, I need to get this done first, then this next, then this next, and this, following the list. That way you are then or you're then focusing on the first option. That way you don't think about the whole list, you're only thinking about the first option. So it's also like you're kind of like breaking it down into small increments, just making something that's big into small little goals or small little parts. That way you can focus on the small little parts. But when you usually feel overwhelmed, you feel like you have a lot of tasks at hand. If you can make a priority list, you can realize, hey, I need to get this one done first. And you know what it is, it's obvious. So put that in your first in your list, get it done, get the next one done, get the next one done. That usually helps with, feeling overwhelmed. The second thing you can do is kind of like, which I recommend doing, is talking about it. You could talk to God about it. You could talk to your best friend, your mom, your dad, your cousin, your friend, your coworker, the random guy in the street. If you are that brave, I'm working on trying to talk to strangers, but I know parents say not to talk to strangers, but I want to like get out of my comfort zone and just be open minded into having conversation with just a random person. But talking about what you're feeling overwhelmed about, don't let it bottle in. Don't let it hold a space in your mind, in your soul. Because when you're feeling overwhelmed about maybe a situation that you can't break it down into a priority list. You just feel overwhelmed about like maybe like emotion, or maybe about things that someone told you about, or you explained something to you, or you got news that you didn't want to hear, and you just feel like it's too much, like this weight. Talking about it then releases it from that space that you held it in, whatever you placed it at. You talking about it then releases it, and then that way the weight could then be lifted off the shoulder, and then you also talking about it could then open up a door for whoever you're explaining the situation to give you some advice that you might want to take. You never know, they might have been through the same thing that you're going through, or they might know someone that's been going through, and they can then recommend talking to that person. But no one would know what you're going through if you don't talk about it. You have to talk about what's bottling inside, what's making you uneasy, what's making you feel like you are 3,000 pounds, like you just can't move. You have to talk about it. And I know it's easy for me to say, especially when something, I don't know what your lives are, I don't know what's going on, but maybe it's something that you feel like you can't tell someone. If you can't tell someone, write it down. Talk to God about it. He always wants to hear you. But just don't let it sit inside. The next thing you can do is not run from the situation, but face it head on. Usually when you feel overwhelmed, you're like, I'm done with this, I'm out. You're like, got a blast. You're just like, I don't want to deal with it. I feel so much like I can't deal with this. and I'm just gonna run from. I'm just gonna give up, and I'm just not gonna think about it. When you run away from your situation, you truly are not running from it. You're not separating yourself from it. You're just temporarily getting a quick fix of the situation, the bigger picture. When you run from a situation, that situation almost all the time comes back, and then you have to deal with it again. So instead of going through the same process over and over again because you keep on running away from it, what you got to do is face the situation head on. You have to. That's the only way that it's going to be free from you. That's the only way you can lift this weight off of your shoulders. When you feel overwhelmed, you tend to like feel like you're like 3,000 pounds, like I said. And when you run from it, you're carrying that weight with you. You're like, hey, I see you're there, but I'm still gonna take you with me. And then you realize, oh, why did it come back? Because it went with you. So just deal with it, face it head on, don't run from it, and that way you'll feel better. When you feel overwhelmed, and you probably won't feel overwhelmed again. I want to thank you guys for listening to this video. I appreciate every single one of you guys, and I'll see you on the next one. If you guys have anything that's going on in your life that you might want some advice from, at least from me, comment down in the comment section below. If you have my number or some way you can contact me, message me, and you'll be like, hey, Berto, I want you to talk about this. I've been going through this. Let me know, and let me see if I can give you some advice or maybe some wisdom. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Hope you have a great day, great week, great month, great year, everything. Y'all deserve it. Peace.